Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this evening I'm actually going to do some more stuff for my Akai S700 sampler. So the S700 does have individual outs, but they are hidden behind a 13-pin connector that looks like this. There you go. Now that connector is quite familiar to me. It's not only used for Akai samplers, but it is also the same connector that's used for the Atari ST monitor port and also the Roland GK guitar synthesizer. So my plan is to create an adapter that goes between this 13-pin port on the back of the sampler. It gets translated into this, which is a 25-pin 8-track Tascam connector, and you can get breakouts that go into this kind of snake thing, so I can get the individual outs. So I don't need to modify the snake, but I do need to modify this and put on the end of it a 25-pin socket, which I've got some spare here. So, without further ado, let us get started. The pin out for this connector is in the Akai manual for the S700. Now, it says that pin 1 is ground. I'll put a copy of this up on the screen for you to look at. And I checked that on my multimeter, and it turns out that the top right pin is pin 1, as is indicated there. I am going to start by cutting this lovely Roland 13-pin guitar cable that I got on eBay into quarter, I think, because I don't want this lead to be too long. But now what I need to do is figure out what coloured wires go to what on the connector. So I'm going to write that down and test it now. I'm going to make the ends quite long. That will give me some space to play with as I measure and solder it and stuff. Now there's like a fabric cover going around the cores. How many cores have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we've got all 13 pins connected. That's good. Okay, brown is 2. Okay, bright yellow is 5. Light blue is 13. And black should be pin 1. Yes, it is. Here are the pins we ended up with. So 1 is the ground, and then the rest of these up until 9 are voices. Now the S700 and the S612 only use 6 voices, but the S900 and the S950 use 8, so that I will connect those even though I don't have one of those samplers, because, you know, why not? And I'll just leave the final 4 pins unconnected. Now, white, pink, pale green and pale blue are the not used pins. So I'm going to tin the ends and then just tip them with some heat shrink so they don't interfere with anything. Alright, so four of the wires will not be connected. Let's have a look at the connector. Comes with a plug, 2 metallized shield pieces, some screws and some strain relief grommets. So the grommet I need is this one here. Which is the second smallest. Let's get this on the cable first. We don't want to have to disassemble the cable just to fit this. Now I'm going to tin the ends of the other wires, but I won't cap them because clearly we need them. The Tascam connector we are connecting to is an 8-track connector, but it's on 25 pins and it's a balanced connection, so each track has 1 ground, 1 hot and 1 cold. Now the output of the Akai is unbalanced, so there's just a global ground and a hot connection effectively for each of the channels. So that means that a lot of these 25 pins have to be connected to ground, and I did that before, so I'm going to insert that video here now. And there we go, it's done. I'll give you a close-up. Can you see that? That snake of wire goes across, connecting the ground and the cold connections on that 25 pin Tascam connector. I've connected also the ground to the screen on the plug. This pin here is the only one that's not connected. That's 1. there, that's track 1, and the one on the top corner is track 8. Now brown is track 1, so we'll do that first. Red is the second one. We're halfway. Dark green is the next. Okay. Look at that. That's the 8 tracks, they're connected. So now I just need to connect the ground, which is the black wire, and can go to anywhere on the ground bus that I soldered. Now we need to assemble the cable. Unfortunately the shield is quite thick and I couldn't quite pinch it onto the shower, so what I'm going to do is solder it to the ground bus. Right, so I've soldered the shield to the ground bus. Now let's try and fit it. I want to screw the whole thing up. And there we go. Akai one end, Tascam the other end. And that will plug straight into the Tascam snake and will give us the outputs from the Akai sampler. So I hope you found that useful. If you've got an old Akai sampler, an S612, S700, S900 or S950, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you made it this far, I think you should hit like. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.